It is not organized. It is not safe. That's the biggest thing with me.
I literally got here at 9 o'clock, the same time they told this young lady to get here. And basically what they said is that they ran out of tickets.
I think it's very unorganized. They told me that they ran out of tickets. I couldn't get no more food. I couldn't get no pantry. I couldn't have access to the store.
And skincare, soap, food. I could get a bunch of stuff for free. And now it's just like, what are you doing?
On your way home, please.
What in the Hunger Games? Who thought this was a good idea?
I don't think it's a good idea for New York to do this all the time or every day on a consistent basis, because it'll lead us back to maybe like Cuba when they give out food to families and everybody has to come.
So that's a concern for you. Okay.
New York City's first ever free grocery store is officially open, and here's everything you need to know. Located in the West Village, you'll find the Polymarket, where you can just walk in, fill your bag with fresh produce, bread, pasta, drinks, olive oil, cleaning supplies, snacks, peanut butter, seasonings, flowers, and then walk right out with no purchase necessary.
And it's gone.
Everything in this New York City grocery store is free while it's open for 5 days. It's part of a publicity campaign from Polymarket. Kalshi, a competitor, did something similar in the beginning of February. But why? And why now? And what even are these platforms? Prediction betting markets are a way to place investments on just about anything. From the number of views the Bad Bunny halftime performance video will get to whether anyone's going to be charged over the document disclosures. But why a grocery store to promote these platforms? During his campaign, Mayor Mamdani suggested the idea of a free grocery store in every borough. And it comes at a time where affordability, specifically the price of groceries, is a pressing issue in New York City and around the country. According to a CBS News price tracker, food prices have gone up 18.6% since January 2022.
I wonder who was in office then. I also love how their own graph shows just how good President Trump is. You can see this insanely sharp increase in food prices in 2022, and it just keeps growing and growing and growing. But look at what starts to happen in 2025. Particularly towards the end of 2025, you even see a decrease in prices. Because, of course, Trump's policies aren't going to work overnight, but you see a slowing down of the increase of the cost of groceries with even a decline right there. Stuff like this doesn't happen overnight, and it's not going to get fixed overnight, but I feel way more comfortable with the 2025 and on part of the graph versus the 2022 to 2025 part of the graph.
Both companies are also based in New York City and said that this is a way to give back to the community.
Polymarket just announced its first free grocery store in the city of New York. So that means that Capitalism brought free groceries to New York before Mamdani did. This is what you guys in New York voted for. This is why you voted for Mamdani, for all the free. And don't worry, I'm not going to be one of those people that's like, you better not go to this grocery store if you voted for Mamdani. You wanted socialism, remember? Because honestly, I hope that you get what you voted for. That's what anybody hopes when they vote. I just think it's really funny that capitalism is the system that ended up giving it to you and not socialism, the system that you voted in. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't think I've seen a single Republican bash this idea. See, it's not that Republicans actually have a problem with helping the less fortunate. It's that we feel that we shouldn't be forced to do it, that people should willingly contribute to that type of system, which they clearly did. This is an example of how US dollars can be spent wisely under capitalism. Your problem isn't actually with capitalism, it's with the people who run capitalism. And do you know how you fix that in a capitalist society? You give your money to companies like this who do things like this with the money that they earn.
Or you vote in better politicians.
This is a perfect example of how people can willingly fund welfare programs in America without having to be full-on socialist. So congratulations, New York. You got your free groceries and you're still the capitalist heart of America.
I don't like the way that this was done. I don't like the lines that go on for blocks. And from reports, there were people who were cutting in line, people who were being aggressive. To go out and announce that, hey, there's free food at a grocery store, you guys just have to show up. It is a recipe for chaos. I think there are much better ways to handle something like this. They could have had people register online and do a first come, first serve type of situation, and then email people a particular code and give them a time when they are allowed to come to the store. That way there are no lines, there is no chaos, and if you don't have whatever particular code that they sent to you ahead of time, then you don't get in and you can't go shopping. And that's going to do a couple of things. That is going to make sure that everybody is safe, that there are no stampedes, and it also preserves people's dignity.
I live in on Burnside. I live in the Bronx. I had to take the D train from Tremont over here. I was there an hour just to get ready and everything.
Do not linger, do not look, do not watch. Please go home.
I've seen a mix of things. Like security needs to work on their presentation, dealing with the customers who are of backgrounds, shall I say, because they don't have the customer service expertise. And whatever training they have is, no, that's not going to work.
I even met a woman that came from India yesterday, and she was like, "Oh my God, I'm in line. I'm coming to get free food." Like, I'm thinking, like, how's she gonna get back on the plane with that?
I want to say that I can't believe that they didn't limit this program, but I guess I can believe it. But the idea that someone who is just a tourist can show up and get free food and then probably can't even fly back home with the food that they got is ridiculous. It is such a waste of resources if you're just giving free food to just anybody who shows up versus people who are actually truly in need.
I get here at 9 o'clock, they're going to tell me that they're not giving no more tickets. And I'm like, how could y'all not give out no more tickets and it's supposed to only be 300?
They had time to be prepared. They had time to organize the waiting line. They had time to do everything and organize. Why does it take you a bunch of times to for all this mess?
I think it's very much needed in New York because it is, as a city of this magnitude and the reputation of New York, it is very much needed because there are people that are coming from everywhere.
I got the spaghetti. I got orange juice. I like orange juice. I also got some ground beef.
Okay, we're going to continue just down the line, just so you can see that the line is stretched all the way down here. It is stretched all around the block. And I'm coming up on another lady I had spoken to, Miss Athena. Here we are. We spoke with you a little bit earlier. Yeah. So now, what do you think about this whole thing? Because you and I had talked about the fact that this is basically related to gambling, yes. You know, the company. And they have donated $1 million to the food bank of New York City. Yeah. So this is a promotion as well. Mm-hmm. So what do you think about all this?
It's a good idea, you know, just for the experience. Right. I don't think it's a good idea for New York to do this all the time or every day on a consistent basis because it'll lead us back to maybe like Cuba when they give out food to families and everybody has to come.
So that's a concern for you. Okay, Athena, thanks so much.
I think Athena gets it because as we all know, there's no such thing as a free lunch.
Mandami asked New York state lawmakers to approve a 2% tax hike on the wealthy. John Katsimatidis joins me now. All right, John, why is it always tax the rich and it's never cut the spending?
Well, you know, New York City has gone, when I ran for mayor in 2013, I think we had 249,000 New York City employees. Now it's like 306,000. So somewhere along the line, somebody has to learn how to run a business. And New York City is, besides politics, it's running a business and everybody has to get a little bit smarter. Look what happened to California. Everybody, the exodus is happening. The people are moving out of California. Even, what was it? Zuckerberg is moving to Florida. That was the big headlines on yesterday's news. So, you know, I'm willing to give our new mayor, we talked about it, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days to learn what running a city is all about. He is a young kid. He's 34 years old.
He's far more gracious than I expect a mayor to have experience and to hit the ground running. Not that there's not a learning curve, but you should be bringing a serious amount of expertise with you if you're going to do a job like this.
But he has to learn fast, and if he doesn't learn fast, it's going to cause problems.
Next one, John. Polymarket has opened its free grocery store. It's in New York City. The line was out the door. It'll be open through the weekend, and shoppers can go in, fill up one tote bag full of free groceries. That's what they get. Now, John, is this an advertising gimmick, or is it a real serious entry into the free grocery store business?
I had an experience years ago when I had an associate of mine dealing with at a casino with a banker from Europe, and he would say, "I'm going to lend you $1,000, and if you make a profit, you give me back the $1,000. But if you don't make a profit, he doesn't ask him for the $1,000 he lost." So somebody in New York City wants to make New York City their dream of free groceries alive, and it's all. It's $1 million quasi for somebody in the city for Polymarket, or either that, it could just be PR.
He didn't provide any facts to back up his claims, and at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if he was correct.